but I'll take breaks and just unshare my screen and make sure everyone's good to go. And again, I will definitely say it. I love it when cameras are on, seeing people present, something I like to practice myself when I'm listening to other master classes too, and just overall sales. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So this is the DM Outreach Masterclass. As you can recognize these logos, I'm going to be going over LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And just by the way, before I go into everything, Instagram and Facebook parallel, synonymous. So whatever I say about Instagram, which I will, it's identical to Facebook. There's just a couple of different things, KPIs, etc., but I'll talk about those differences. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, some of you guys might know me like a Darsh. Happily said, specifically followed me for a year and a half. Some of you guys, first time, and that's still okay. Basically, I'm also an agency owner, been in the space for 8 years, ran my agency to 50K a month. We're still there hanging out there. I also run a law agency. And in a sense, I've sent hundreds of thousands of DMs on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. He said, "You guys and I joined school a couple of weeks ago. Deeper dive into that. Yeah, that's week. I've helped hundreds of agency owners get appointments. I'll be transparent. I do a done for you DM outreach system for agencies still. And with that said, I optimize strategies for DMs on a daily. So what I'm sharing with you is not outdated last year or 5 years ago when I first started doing DMs. This is something we're still doing to this day and leveraging AI, which I'll show you. So let's start with the question why? Why should we do DM outreach? If in the chat, can you drop at least what your number one, if you have multiple, your number one outreach, outbound, could be paid ads, cold calling. Can you drop what you're currently doing? Not that I'm a gaslight like cold calling or anything. They're all great. Just putting out there. Instagram DMs. Okay, sweet. Adarsh. Cold calling, paid ads. Great. Love it. Paid ads is awesome. Cold email. Perfect. Hope you're using instantly and scaling that out. We know the deal. Cold calling, cold email. Sweet. Appreciate it. Awesome, guys. So I'm just going to talk about why DMs is great. And again, like I said a moment ago, all outreach platforms work. The only thing I look at is your niche there and hanging out there is kind of like lakes. You know, if you're fishing for a certain type of fish, are they in that lake or are they more in this lake? It's the same thing with platforms, right? Home services, for example, are on LinkedIn. But I'm going to talk about why DM outreach works for virtually every local service space at some point or on either platform. So one is diversifying your acquisition. So I love it when I hear you guys do cold calling, cold email, paid ads, cold calling, right? I highly suggest, especially when you're about to scale, to not put all your chips or all your eggs in one basket, that whole analogy. The other thing about DMs is that no one can copy your methods. Where a lot of people nowadays, when they're hopping into AI agencies or hopping into lead gen agencies, they see your ads, they're literally going to copy you script for script. And I hate to say it, but it's so unethical. I see people copying people's testimonials. No one can copy your DM outreach script. Just like how no one can copy your cold calling, no one can copy a cold email. So that's a little shout out to organic outreach. Also with DMs, at least, you have a conversation before you book an appointment with people, right? And I'll show you how that looks like. I'll show you our script. Don't worry, that's all going to be included here. And by the time you have that conversation live with them on the phone call, they're already warmed up to you. It's like they already know you, okay? The other thing is that socials are being used more on B2B platforms, believe it or not. 5 years ago, I wouldn't probably say that. Pool builders would not have opened up Instagram. Now, they're honestly getting a lot more clients on Instagram and inquiries. So they're hanging out there. It's scalable. I'll show you how to do that. That's actually pillar number four. And then the last thing is it just works. And I'm going to show you how to make it work, okay? For those who just hopped in again, my name is Marcus. If you have questions, just feel free to pop it in the Zoom chat as I go along. First, obviously, I like the idea of showing, not telling, that it works. This is Kyle and Josh. They go in real estate. They're using LinkedIn. They scale to 40K a month, all without paid ads, just straight DMs, landing 3, 4 appointments a day. This is Jesse Catalano in the fitness industry. A lot of people think, okay, that must be Instagram and Facebook. Yes, but he's also getting clients through LinkedIn, believe it or not. And as a fun fact, he's actually leveraging LinkedIn as a service for personal trainers to get them high ticket C-suite executive personal training clients. So ditto. This is Yuma Godard, financial services, leveraging LinkedIn as well as Instagram, getting appointments like from 1 of 4 a month to now 1 of 4 a day, which is sick. And then Chris Watanabe, for those who are AI agencies, shout out to you guys. You guys are on the cusp of doing something great. You guys definitely want to be on LinkedIn. A lot of white collar businesses are opportunistic about AI. So from real estate, business coaches, consultants, He goes after business coaches, for example, from dating to real estate coaches to fitness coaches. All of them know that for their info product or their local based business, they want AI. So close 10K deals, 5K deals like he is over there. Um, Jerry said, you're saying electricians and plumbers and roofers are in LinkedIn. I can't get a good list off of Apollo. The flip side, they're actually not on LinkedIn. They're on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook's just harder with the Facebook groups. You just have to join those. Those are usually private. But Instagram, yeah, you can DM those guys, which I'll show you how to do that. So white collar. Again, white collar professional services. I'm not saying home services aren't, by the way, but I'm saying like you go to degree, get a degree for versus electricians, roofers, pool builders. I'm blanking HVAC, concrete. Those guys, Instagram and Facebook. Hope that helped. So let's just go ahead and just lay out the goal here. At the end of the day, I want to show you how you can get 2 to 3 appointments a day and set this all up within 7 days, right? Going into the second week of August. Wow, it's August 1st, believe it or not. So there are 4 pillars to achieve this goal. Number one, I'm going to show you how to set up the accounts and optimize it, especially on LinkedIn. Number two, pillar number two is crafting a compelling offer and script. Pillar three, finding qualified prospects. And pillar four, organizing, delegating it, and automating it. It's easy to set it up. It's hard to maintain it. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. And yes, again, I will say this for a third time. I will drop resources. I'll give it to Daniel as well so he can keep it into the community and you guys can go back to this video. Cool. All right. If you guys are ready, let's dominate and slide into people's DMs. Okay. Pillar number one is setting up the account. So again, I'm going to do LinkedIn as separate from Instagram, Facebook, identical. So LinkedIn profile optimization. Basically, what we're going to cover is the profile image and banner, bio, about me, and post one by one. So the LinkedIn image, very simple. I'm not going to complicate it. Just have a nice, appropriate banner and image for your niche, right? If you're in gyms like Jessica Alano, he's in fitness using LinkedIn. He still has a tank top because that's what his clients use. Where for me, I go after lawyers. I run a law agency as well, so I, look more buttoned up. This is my friend who looks more professional or has that look, if I may. Juming, he goes after daycares. So he's a agency I'm helping with on LinkedIn and he just looks more casual and friendly. So you can kind of just see how appropriate and how it aligns with the niche. Just clean photos, professional photos. You can do a suit if you want to just play it safe. Use Canva for your banners. It's pretty simple. There's so many templates. Don't overthink it. And then in those banners, you can say your milestones or what you do or who you help. So those are the different types of banners you can definitely leverage. So bio, again, pretty simple, but you want to just hit on these things. Who you help, how you help them achieve desired outcome, and what you've done for others. So for me, I like to say, been in space for 7, 8 years now. I help law firms and lawyers get pre-qualified leads. And if you have a solid offer, and I'll talk about offers because that's in the pillar two. But if you have a solid offer about like you can get people X amount of jobs for a roofer or you're on a pay per lead basis, which is what I genuinely do for lawyers, say that. It'll just like they'll be inclined to be like, oh, this guy has something I want, especially in sophisticated industry. And then again, milestones like 1,000 business owners served. Jeremiah, he's also my friend. He's in PI. He also says like again, he's helped people get 30 plus cases for firms. So stuff like that, pretty simple. Now, the about me is a little bit more specific. It's not about you, it's about them. Let's just put it that way. So, you basically want to have a nice generic goodwill message saying, welcome to my profile, call out to your client avatar, and then start talking about their pain. So, you can see I have that listed here. What benefits the clients with your offer, right? And then just recall who this works for. And then just call to action. Like, just message me AI if you want to see how you can leverage AI, our AI agent for your real estate business, etc. So now let me go ahead and talk about posts. Yes, if you're going to use LinkedIn and make sense where your niche is on LinkedIn, you do want to have posts, but I'm going to show you how you can literally get this up in 10 minutes. Leverage ChatGPT. That's it. Just literally put in the prompt, pretend you're an expert on LinkedIn and want to make a post or articles about, in this case, how lawyers can generate more leads and cases, personal injury cases. Let me just skip to that part. I say write me 8 posts on 10 different or 8 different topics, 5 to 8 sentences each, right? Like you're a copywriting expert. So I do that last line, by the way, just a side note to kind of give it an alter ego and like pretend it's like the best person in the world. It's like a great hack for ChatGPT to know how to focus in. But yeah, you'll see here, it'll shoot me like different types of angles, whether it's like gaslighting or talking about how billboards don't work anymore, that the number one lead gen is Meta now, um, or like certain case studies, it'll grab articles, and that's great. And then from there, what you want to do is either put an image behind it, which is fine. You just easily go on Instagram, or I'm sorry, go on Canva for that. Or you can actually go on a Loom video and speak about it, which I highly recommend. That's just an extra 5 minutes because now it feels like you actually genuinely written it, and that's what we want people to feel like it came from you, and then you can give context to potentially your clients. So like saying how uh let's grab one, like why your website isn't the problem your traffic is. Maybe you have a client that dealt with this and you can talk about it in a story, and that just gravitates more as an engaging post. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Just do 2 to 3 a week and then you'll be solid. Having 8 to 10 posts that people can check out, they'll be like, yeah, I want to connect with this guy. That's what the whole point of this pillar is about. Because the first thing as a foundation is that they want to connect with you or meet with you. So let's go on to Instagram and Facebook. Again, if you're just tuning in, what's up? I'm Marcus. We're doing a DM Outreach Masterclass. If you got questions, just feel free to pop it in the Zoom chat. I'll check it out and see if I can answer it right now. All right, Instagram and Facebook. Let's shift gears here. So you do not want to use an agency post unless you're a brand that everyone recognizes, like McDonald's, Go High Level, or Acquisition.com, Alex Mosey. Of course, I'll respond to those all three, but chances are we're not at that level yet, even me. Like if I DM'd you in with my logo, you're probably like, who the heck is this guy? Right? And the first thing I want to remind you is that Instagram and Facebook, it's a person to person. It's a people to people model. It's not a B2B like LinkedIn, right? People want to connect with interesting people who are interested in the same things. Let's just put it that way. Someone put that quote. That was cool. I'm gonna come back to that recording. I never said that before. Um, so let's talk about profile optimization again. So images, it's pretty simple. Have it, appropriate, just like LinkedIn. Bio, same thing as LinkedIn. Who you help, how you help them, milestones, and do a call to action to DM you the word or something pertaining to your service or system. Now, I do recommend doing a link to your YouTube if you have one. I'll talk about that quite a bit. Um, Linktree if you have different sites like free lead magnet, DM, or I'm sorry, demo call calendar, website, case studies, whatever. If you have multiple links you want to have there, do Linktree, or just straight to your landing page that people can check out the VSLs, etc. Again, I will say YouTube is great. I'll talk about that. It's a great way to nurture people. And if people click on a YouTube video, you actually automatically get into their suggestions the next time they hop on YouTube, if they're not blocking off YouTube suggestions. So that's a great way to stay top of mind and for people to feel like, wow, I'm starting to see Dr. David Nyes more or Javane. So it's a little hack with SEO and like how the algorithm works. The other thing I want to share is this is my friend, Dr. David Nyes. He leverages, he's in dental, as you can see here. He leverages Instagram and YouTube to get majority, I'm gonna just say majority of his clients come from inbound, which is insane, especially in a competitive industry. So if you guys want to model someone really fast, just go out to Dr. David Nyes. I'll talk about him actually as an example here. So pin posts. This is one of the coolest things that Instagram has ever done for businesses. You want to have three different pin posts. So one is your brand story. Why are you solving this? Why are you leveraging AI? Why are you in marketing? And then talking about how this helps solve your client avatar's problems. So that's not just say I'm doing business or I'm helping businesses generate leads. Like, no, talk about the issues that dental clinics have, and why they need to leverage AI. There's issues with the front desk doing other things, sleeping in or being late, asking for a raise. AI doesn't do that. So that's what Dr. David Nyes is doing in this video, talking about using AI to call their dental clinics or dental clients. The second thing is have your best testimonial on there. So this is what they did. They actually did a podcast with her, one of the dental clinics that is their client, and then educate on your system or value, which is what he's doing here. Um, Same thing with Javane, testimonial, brand story here, and then anything else. Oh, and then educating on the value. So posting, I personally don't have like you absolutely need to do it this way. I'll be honest, I'm not an expert when it comes to like leveraging your content as like a way to monetize. But obviously, we're talking about making sure it looks good. It's a lifestyle, right? So post about your life. I post a lot about fitness, which you guys know. It helps us connect well together. Traveling usually helps a ton. So post your travels. People like it when they see you doing other things other than being a geek on your MacBook Pro. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Um, so how to create more accounts. I know people like Adarsh who've been following me have heard me say, great team member accounts, great fake accounts. I got two things for you. This, yeah, you said yeah. Since last month, actually, I was gonna say this month, they actually made it harder for you to verify accounts. So what you need to do, going back to this, I found better results with female accounts, which is great. But it's just they're just gonna go down now. That's the truth. So what you need to do is create multiple owner accounts. So I have multiple Marcus accounts. The real Marcus Pizarro, not me. This is my main account. Marcus Pizarro and then Marcus A Pizarro. So these are accounts I've created. The reason why is verification. Yes, they need to verify you. They need to know that you're a real person. And if you can do that because it's you, good. Okay. Now, where do you get the accounts? You still get them through bulkaccountSbuy.com. That's my best place. It's a verified website, person who has aged accounts. You could go to a seller market and do accountsmarket.com, easyviral.com. These are more on the expensive side, like honestly, $30 to $50 per account. These ones are like $10 per account, $3 per account, but like these are definitely high quality. So, like if you're asking me, well, how many accounts do I need? The more the better. So if you can get 10 to 15, awesome. Obviously, now it's just about delegating it to a VA. But to begin with, you want to do at least minimum 100 a day. So I would recommend getting 3 to 4 accounts, maybe 5, just for one on reserves in case one goes down. But again, the more age, the better. So still, you can get accounts from 2016, 18, 2020 is fine. But those ones in the early 2010s is better. So where to get the likes and followers. Okay. So go to buzzoid.com. There's probably other ones that you guys may have used or seen that are cheaper. That's totally fine. I use Buzzoid still. Just buy 500 to 1,000 followers. You don't need to be at 10K or 11K followers. Doesn't need to be that clout. Um, only purchase when if you do use Buzzoid, only purchase active followers. Those are the real ones. The other ones are just bots. And usually Instagram will catch those and they'll remove the bots and you'll be like, man, I paid for nothing. So make sure you get the real ones. And just are they US followers? I don't know if they're US followers. They're not like all from, excuse me, they're not all from like India or Bangladesh. Like they're all over. So I'm not sure if they're just US followers. All right, Famoid. That's really cool. I like how they're all like ending with the same 3 letters. That's something. But yeah, just add in comments, add in likes. Personally, in this community, you guys, if you guys are ramping things up, follow each other's prospecting accounts, help each other out. When they see Daniel follow Marcus's prospecting account, it shows that, hey, it's giving that activity and that boost up in trust. So adding posts is pretty simple. Do the same pin post as your main profile. 3 to 6 educational short form videos, perhaps about your marketing or services or AI. Again, you can link in a couple of great lifestyle posts or videos of you traveling. That's great. And then if you want, you can link in 3 to 6 testimonials and also put that as your highlights in the story because people will check out your highlights and see the results. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna take a quick pause here. Also, a quick drink. Was there any questions regarding? Um, Did someone drop something large there for a second? A Darsh. Okay, so Marcus, I have a very important question for you. Let's say I book a meeting from a team member account and I do not have any website testimonials, any trust building stuff on that. And then I tell my partner handle all the back end stuff, so he'll be on the meeting. Then I schedule the meeting. Am I also not calling them so they do not know my accent yet? Do you think I should face any issues? They might say the ID was fake or something like that, like keeping the thing in mind, and I have an accent and that tech stuff is going on. Okay, so I'll talk about more on the broad terms, and then Daniel, feel free to chime in here, because this is a baton pass from sales, from DMs to sales, so this is huge. And great question, by the way, Darsh. So when it comes to the team member accounts, whoever it is, like you can honestly just say, "Hey, I'll get you booked in with my CEO, Marcus." That's cool. Or you can say, in this case, like I can get you in touch with one of my team members. His name is Adarsh, who can give you more information on how our system works for other real estate agents, right? And that's a pretty simple pass off. You're just telling them it's another team member, legally split. Um, if I this is a partnership this is a more of a partnership question too. If your partner is doing the back end and you're doing the front end, you should be the one on the calls, right? And by the way, I know that there's that stigma of like, oh, if they hear Indian accent, like they're really skeptical. Honestly, there's a video on this about Alex Mosey saying leverage your biases to actually help you. Because if they see like you're competent, Adarsh, and that you actually know your stuff, they're gonna be like, oh wait, man, my bias is wrong. This guy must be someone different. Um, so I have friends who are like 16, 17 years old making 30K. They have an Indian accent. They're from India or Pakistan or Thailand. And so I just want to nix that out just for the sake of time. Like, don't worry about your accent. You follow the same things, you have good tonality, you're there to really help someone out. They will see it through. Sure, there might be someone who will come quick and be like, wait, you're from India? It's like, yeah, I am. And I help US-based clients get more appointments. Is that an issue? Go ahead, Adarsh.
Yeah. So previously, like you just previously, I used to call them, but 10 out of 8 people used to tell me, like, they used to tell me, no, I do not remember anything like that. Like, I used to tell them, my assistant reached out to you and this. They used to tell me, no, I do not remember. Or they used to tell me, I'm not interested. I'm only getting like here, I'm getting positive response. I need more info, things like that. And then only 2 people used to tell me, okay, yes. And then even then there are no shows.
Yeah, I
So
want to say
then I
something about
thought,
that too. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I have something to say
no, no,
about.
go ahead,
Go
go ahead.
ahead. Oh, well, I was just
Okay.
going to talk about my one of our people from the old boss community. His name's Bavia. He was actually doing really well, man. He had a super thick accent, but it's what Marquez says, right? Like it's about your confidence, it's about your tonality. Can you really convey you're there to help them? Because he had the thickest accent ever, and still he was able to hit like 20, 30K a month, um, with that accent. So I think it is like a little bit about confidence and stuff, but also like, um, the first half of your question was also about like testimonials. So in the badass community, you can actually leverage our case studies and testimonials if you want to use this as a white label. So that's like an easy one for you guys. Um, but yeah, man, accent isn't everything. It's a huge factor. Let's not lie. But you can easily get around that through confidence, the way you convey your messaging, and how you position yourself.
Hmm.
You guys, yeah,
I see that.
you guys are business doctors. These guys, the lifeblood of business is sales, and the blood cells are leads. And if they're not getting leads, you got to fix them like a doctor. So I don't care what part of the world you're from. If you can help me live my life, or if you can save my business in this case, I'm gonna let you do surgery or tell me the procedures and at least diagnose my business. Let's just put it that way. I appreciate that, Daniel, and sharing that. Like you don't need to like you can use testimonials. Um, is it okay if I say something personal about that? Is that right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I would. Okay, so my thing is with that is don't say I did this when it's a Daniel's testimonial. Say this is what our system can accomplish you. Just putting it out there.
Hmm.
So because obviously they come from you. That's my
Right.
personal take. I just want to be real with that. But anyways, appreciate that. Be confident. Yeah, 100% Zubin. So let's go into pillar two. So I'm not gonna lie, 80% of success comes from your offer, right? If your offer sucks, it won't get you positive replies or very little. One of my favorite quotes from Alex Mosey is terrible offer, terrible business, terrible profit, terrible life. Good, same thing. Good offer, good business, good profit, good life. Brilliant offer, brilliant business, brilliant profit, brilliant life, something like that. I'm terrible at paraphrasing that, but in a sense, you guys get the point. Having a solid offer works. So I'm going to talk about his value equation really fast. I'm pretty sure you guys are talking about offers in this community, so just let me go ahead and remind you, and I'll actually apply it more into a script because that's what we need to do here. Um, yeah, Dan, you can check that one out.
Yep.
So this is the value equation right here. The numerator, of course, is the dream outcome, perceived likelihood of achievement. The denominator is anything increased there, obviously decreases the value. So time delay or effort and sacrifice, like them needing to come in and actually do something for you. Like obviously the effort and sacrifice. Like we go to a restaurant, why? Because we get good steak, we satisfy our hunger. If it takes longer, then we obviously are getting mad. If we had to go in the kitchen and actually do the meals, we obviously see no value. We honestly should just cook at our home. So this is now how you can apply it into your marketing. This is where you can say the dream outcome, saying like, we'll bring you X amount of appointments, clients, jobs, etc. Right? The more tangible it is, the better. Let me just put that flat out. You can't expect to say like, oh, I have an AI agent, like AI caller that will do this or like that does this for business. Like you need to literally say the vacation. Like there's a reason why he drew Palm Beach and sun right here. You need to talk about the vacation, not United Airlines, okay? So what does it mean for your clients? This is where ICP helps. It's like, hey, my AI agent, allows you to, free up your front desk time. So we're literally calling people within that first minute, so you're not, losing all those interested leads coming from your Google Ads you're currently running. They're gonna be like, actually, that's cool. Um, the other way is time delay. So again, you can say, hey, we achieved this in 30 days. Also, effort and sacrifice. So maybe you're doing SEO and you'll need ad spend. So you can totally downplay those who need ads to get your result. You can say, hey, I can get your these results in 30 days. No ads been required. People will definitely jump at that. All done for you. All we need is your calendar, or you don't pay, right? People saying that as a risk reversal, saying like, or we work for free until we get you those results I sold you. And then I like to have this line. I'll put it all together in a second for you guys. Where you're saying like, would you like to see how we're doing this for other real estate agents? The perceived likelihood of achievement, like saying knowing that this has been done for other people. Okay. So again, let's start with LinkedIn because it's a bit different in how this works for LinkedIn than Instagram and Facebook. But essentially, you're gonna have to connect with people no matter what. It's like a friend request on Facebook. Then once they connect with you and accept it, then you can reach out to them. From there, that's where you have the welcome message, and then that's the pitch essentially. So let me actually show you this step by step. So you have the connection message. Don't overthink it. Just make it very simple, saying, "Hey, I see you're in niche space. Let's connect if you're open to it." They'll check you out for 5 seconds. If they see that, hey, this guy has real estate in his bio, all right, let's just connect really fast. Like they're gonna be quick to just judge you. Kind of like how we size someone up, for the first time we just look at them and judge based off their looks. Same thing. Step two is pitch and qualify message. So once they accept that message again or accept that connection, they would say, "Hey, first name, nice to connect. We're looking to partner with one real estate agent right now in your area. I'm helping realtors like yourself get 10 to 15 extra listing clients without running paid ads or with our new AI system, so you don't have to do all the calling outbound or inbound. We're pretty picky about who we're partnering with. So could we chat if you would be a good fit for this?" So that last line is the qualifying part. This is one of my favorite lines that we've been using that's working well is saying like we're pretty picky about who we're partnering with. You don't have to say it in that way, but that works specifically well for like real estate. Um, so you can say like, we're there's a certain there has to be a certain type of restaurant we're working with or a certain type of dental clinic. So just letting them know like, hey, also not just trying to sell everyone. I'm really trying to see if this works out well for you, and I'm also looking for one person in your area. If they don't respond back that next day, you can just say these lines like, just seeing if this reached your messages. Would you be opposed to see how if we can help you get blank outcome like we've done for other people in the US? Tried reaching out a couple of times. Seems like you're busy at the moment. Could we can put this on the shelf for now, or should we put this on the shelf for now? Question mark. That line is my third or fourth follow-up in LinkedIn, also for Instagram. This shelf line gets like a 50% 50% reply rate. Like either they don't say anything or they say, "Hey man, sorry, I've just been super busy. I'm not on LinkedIn all the time. Yeah, let's hop on a call. I'm interested." It's really cool. Because you're cutting the opportunity away from them, is the psychology. Okay, so step three, once they are interested, whoops, that's when you can have one or two qualifying questions. I wouldn't ask them about their finances or like how many clients they have. Save that for the intro or demo call, okay, guys? But you can ask them for sure, like, hey, what kind of services are you focusing on right now? Are you doing anything with AI at the moment? You know, that usually just sees their in like I wouldn't say their interest really in your services or if it's really been on the top of their mind, okay? So you can do that. And then from there, you just don't directly book them on your calendar. Drop your earliest two availabilities. This is where a lot of people trip up still. And I get why, because, if they book on your calendar, they took the time out, they're highly qualified, but it's not worth it. I actually saw a 5 time decrease, like a multiplier of the amount of bookings when we give people the link. It's just simply because of convenience, right? They're busy, they're doctors or they're restaurant owners, and they gotta, feed people. So they're gonna get back to their jobs and they're just gonna forget. And then now you gotta play an uphill battle with follow-up again. Okay. So just help them by dropping your earliest availabilities. So like this person, for example, we said, hey, we can hop on a quick Google Meet call on Tuesday next week at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, right? Um, And then I think he said that works. Yeah, that works, Bruno. And then from there, we're just saying, yeah, what's your best email and phone number to book you in? Get the info. And then you just want to confirm that if they received your email, text confirmation reminders from GHL, Calendly, whatever you use. And then also send them a pre-call page. Send them that pre-call page via text or email for them to understand. If you don't know what I'm talking about, or like you want to see what mine looks like, I'll show you in a second. But basically, you're trying to educate them. They're interested, but they're also like, who's this company? What kind of AI are they doing? How's this work for other people, really? And so you just want to give resources for them to do their diligence because 99% of the time they're going to do that. But yeah, outside of that, you just confirm that meeting. So let's move it to Instagram and Facebook. A lot of similarities, so I'll brush over those really fast. And then there's a couple of differences. So to kick it off, instead of a connections, you do have a conversational opener. This has still been the best move to this day. I honestly don't recommend Looms. Same reason as sending them a link, a calendar link. It's because they just probably won't engage with it, or they just don't have the time to look at it, especially if it's someone that they don't know. So what you want to do is have a conversation opener. Now, don't be misleading and say like, "Hey, I'm interested in your personal training," or "Hey, I'm in Sacramento, I'm looking for a home." Obviously, that's just gonna lead to you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot there. Did someone unmute? Was that Ardarsh? No, someone unmuted.
You're good.
Okay, all good. I just want to make sure if someone had a question they can ask. But yeah, don't mislead the customer, but you can be a bit vague, and usually you want to make it something positive stimuli, which is about their business, and something about getting them more clients. But again, don't be misleading. So you can say if you're in like home services, like, hey, what areas do you guys service? And this person gladly gave a good answer. Palm Coast, Florida, Daytona, all that stuff. This was a law one. Hi, are you taking on more MBA cases? Same thing. Great answer. Hi, do you do online coaching? This was to a fitness coach because I saw that they do PT in person, so I was curious. Like, hi, do you do online coach? To say yes, we do. So those are great opening lines, and it gets you out of the message request. Okay. Um, if you're also doing like something like SEO, so you can tie it into your service because the next step is going to be you pitching. So you can say, hey, I tried looking you guys up. Do you guys have a site? It's kind of gaslighting at the same time. It's like, damn, like you can't even find my site. Um, so yeah. Step two is the conversational pitch. So that's where they say, this, and that's where we're saying, awesome, we're actually looking for one cleaning company to partner with in Florida. We'll bring you, again, here's the offer, 15 to 30 new cleanings per month using AI, or we work for you for free until we do. So he has virtually every single, yeah, he has all the elements in that value equation that we were looking at. He has the desired outcome. He has the time per month. He has a vehicle and he has a good risk reversal, so sacrifice or effort. And then he also shares the likelihood of achieving because he does help to do this for other clients. So the person says, of course, I'm interested to see how you do this. Yes. Same thing with this person. Yes, I would absolutely love that. So that's what this whole message is right here. As you can see, it's broken up into two, just so it's easier for them to read. Then step three, same thing as LinkedIn, booking them in. This is where if you are doing the team member account still like a Darsh, that's where you can say, hey, would love to connect you via phone call with one of our team members to discuss more. Do you have time tomorrow at blank? If it's with you, obviously just say, hey, I'd love to hop on a quick call with you later today, if not tomorrow. Do you have time later today at this time or tomorrow? Right? And then just confirm that call, confirm that you got their info. Same thing as LinkedIn. And then, yeah, again, this is the pre-call page. So, in a sense, once you book them in, just say, hey, I know I reached out to you out of the blue. Like, let's address that. And then just say, hey, check us out here. You'll see how we've helped similar cleaning services or how we've helped similar businesses like yours achieve XYZ. It'll make our goal go smooth. And honestly, you can see if this is the right thing for you or not. Um, just again, position it as this is an opportunity I'm bringing you. I'm not sure if it'll work for you yet, but if it does, the only like you'll know if you watch this. And yeah. So really quick, what are some openers if you have no clients? Well, for the openers, that's a great question, Jared. For at least the openers, it can be whether you have no clients or you have 100 clients. It's the same thing. It's like, hey, what areas do you service? Are you taking on more MVA cases, etc. If you don't have any clients, um, instead of this line right here, I believe is what you're saying, instead of saying like, would you like to see how we're doing this for other people? One is again, if Daniel has people in your niche and you can leverage his case studies, there you go. You can show them. You're not saying, yeah, you can show them how it's worked for other people like them, like they're in their niche. But another thing you could say is, would you be opposed to seeing how this could work for your business? That's simple as that. You're just asking it so that they can easily say yes. Yeah, no worries, sure. I was assuming that's what you meant. Yeah, other questions, guys? Because this is meat and potatoes right here. You have a solid offer, you have a script. Now it's just a matter of pillar number three, of course, how to find these people, which will be a fast one. It's not hard. It takes time. Let me phrase that. But yeah, any questions? We all good so far?
Yeah, actually, I think we missed a question earlier. So one of them
Oh,
was,
okay.
is it mandatory that we do a verified account, like on Instagram, for example?
No, you don't need to verify it. I could. I'm not gonna. There's no algorithm to say or data that I know of right now on Instagram that says if you have a verified account, like you're safe. Like obviously, if Kim Kardashian outbound sends 100 DMs, just like you and I, other accounts, her account's gonna be like, hey, that's too much. Like follow the community guidelines. So as long as you follow the steps of getting an age account from either of those websites or platforms, you create engagement on it, which you can get from Blazoid or I forgot the other one that someone said. Um, and I'll talk about how many messages you can send. I'm talking about activity and not going over the limit. Um, but you should be good. You don't need verification.
One thing I want to say too is like just looking at my message requests, I still get a lot of people that are verified and they don't necessarily like land in the inbox. Like it's still, in the requests. I would assume that if you are verified, you would get a better result, but I guess I really haven't tested that. And one thing that you said that I actually really thought was amazing is that you're telling them kind of like, hey, we can't like work with everyone, like that kind of like verbiage. What was it exactly?
So the LinkedIn one was we're
We're
pretty
picky.
picky about who we work with or who this can work for. So would you like to see if we can work together in your area and get you more appointments or something like that?
Yeah, I really like that because I get a bunch of DMs all the time from like editors mainly and like, right, like various people DMing. Nobody says that. And I feel like if I saw that, I would be like, damn, like that's cool. It almost like seems as if you really selected me, for this.
Exactly. So like if an editor came to you, which happens to me, I get, you and I get pitched on a lot. If someone came to me and they say, "Hey Marcus, like I see that you're doing it done for you. I only work with people in finances, but I think I can help you in your area." I'll be like assuming like, yeah, you did your diligence and you're actually pretty cool for that. Um So yeah, they're sizing. Yeah, you're qualifying just as much as they're qualifying you. So let's talk about prospecting really fast. Easiest thing is use Sales Navigator. There's no need to, make it complicated. You can easily search up people. It's like paid ads, if I may. You can find people's job levels. So CEOs, co-founders, co-owners, managing founders, or partners. Um, where they're located. So certain states that you want to find people in, that's great. It'll show you the audience size. So if it's like below 500, 5,000, like that's not good. Keep it very broad still. But the most important part with LinkedIn is just getting in front of the decision maker. And honestly, sometimes depending on your niche, that might mean the operations manager. That might also mean the human resource manager. Uh, Believe it or not, if you try to reach out to CFOs versus CMOs, CFOs might actually like you more than CMOs because then they're like, "Who is to say that I'm not doing my job properly?" Whatever. I also recommend getting Sales Navigator Core, specifically for in-mails. So little bit of a terminology here. So you do need to wait for them to open your request. You get 200 to 300 connections a week to send to people, which is a good amount, right? Um, but with in-mails, it bypasses the need to request, for to wait for their request, and you go straight into LinkedIn messages as well as your emails. And for example, the guys I showed you, Kyle and Josh, they are also sending in-mails to real estate agents, which is a hyperactive market. Out of 150 in-mails a month, they get 75, sometimes like 50 to 75 replies And out of that, they get 10 extra booked appointments, which can lead to an extra client or two. So it's only 110 a month, but if you can get an extra client or two, paying you 1,000 to 2,000 plus ROI. So I highly recommend getting it. What about Seamless AI? I haven't checked out Seamless AI as much, Shaquille. I have my own platform that we're leveraging that actually automates. I'll talk about that in Pillar 4. Automates and uses AI. I won't talk about how to put it because it's like requires JSON and knowing JSON and OpenAI, but I'll talk about it in a second. But yeah, I've heard good things about Seamless AI for sure. So prospecting and finding leads on Instagram and Facebook, we do leverage ChatGPT for this. It's pretty simple. Just give it the prompt of saying, give me 20 plus pool builder companies in Dallas, Texas, and include their Instagram account. Pretty simple there. And you can definitely test its limits and say, can you give me the owner's accounts? And you'll be surprised. Probably like out of the 10 or 20, they'll give you the owner's accounts if it can really sync it up and see like it says owner of Riverbend Sandler Pools, right? And then again, you can be specific. If you're doing SEO, for example, you can say, hey, give me people who are on the bottom of this first page when you search up Dallas people nearby, and give me their Instagram accounts or Facebook accounts. Hashtags. So if you're on Instagram, doing Instagram, great. Just pretty simple. Whatever has more than 100K posts, like hashtag gym owner for fitness industry, personal trainer, PT studio, all these ones, that's perfect. Find those because those people, like every week, there'll be new people using that to try to grow their business. Plus, there's alignment. The reason why they're using hashtags, they're so outdated, honestly. Um, is that they think it's going to work for them, but their intent is to try to grow their business and get more eyeballs, which is obviously what you're trying to do to help them. And then you can also do quotation searches. A lot of people do this a lot in Google searches, but you can do it in Meta too. So you can search up personal trainer and then also city again. So like Atlanta. When I did this, it gives me all the recent people who posted, as you see here, um, that are personal trainers in Atlanta. So you can also do that as well. And then scraping. So this is niche by niche thing. If you're in like, for example, in med spa, I don't I don't know if Daniel you've seen something different, but like med spa, I've never seen it work on D7 Apollo. Like it's either a small list or the list is not good. Like they're not statisticians or anything. But like other niches, you just gotta test, honestly. Roofers, home services, you can scrape a good list. My theory is that med spa is a new terminology and that it's a growing market, but recent. But roofers have been around for years and decades, so they have a huge list in here. Gym owners, same thing. Basically, I would get the bulk option to scrape top 100 cities in US, and it'll, depending on your niche, give you anywhere from 30,000 to 100,000 plus people. So that's a great thing. And it also gives you their socials. That's a big part.
I want to add one
All
more
right.
thing because we're about to get to Pillar 4, but I'm going to leave this link in the chat. This is a free Chrome extension. It's called Growman IG Email Extractor. You can actually use it to, uh, scrape all the emails from profiles using certain hashtags too. So you can kind of pair up the DM with a cold email, like, "Hey, I saw you on Instagram using this hashtag," or whatever you want to say to personalize it. But just a free resource for you guys.
Love that. I'm gonna snag that real quick. Copy link. Um, Yeah, stay top of mind. So again, diversify. Keeping that in mind, if you do cold email and paid ads and IG, like they have to see you somewhere. Let's just put that out there. Um, so that's like a great tool to kind of keep that in sync and leverage both platforms as a conversation. Love it. So pillar number 4, organizing, delegating, and automating. I'm gonna speed rush this. So if you guys want me to like stop my tracks, because rightfully so, all of these can be their own pillars, but they accomplish one thing: taking it off your plate. All you have to do is take the sales calls. That's why it's a whole pillar in itself. But feel free to stop me in my tracks if you need help. And this is where resources really come in. So I'm going to cover these 4 Google Sheets that I've been giving. So number 1 is obviously keeping track of your accounts. I don't have to harp on this, but if you have a VA, you obviously want to organize this and keep track of the status. Make sure that how many times did they get suspicious activity, right? I personally say on Instagram, start with 10 next week, 15 the following week, 20, and then keep it at around 30 to 40. Usually by the time you hit 40 for a couple of weeks, it starts to flag. Um, just because that's a high activity rate. I haven't seen it work well at 50 anymore. Just putting it out there. And then with Facebook, I hate to say it, but start lower if you're gonna do cold Facebook outbound. Do 8, and then like again increase it by 5, and then cap it at 20. I just seen a lot of accounts go down, and so just want to put out what I've observed, and I've seen hundreds of accounts by the way. So we'll give you that just to easily store your account's details and know the status of it. You want to have a booking appointment sheet, so you can separate booking appointments from what I'm going to share with you as your prospecting pipeline. But basically, just keep track of all their data, niche, if you're doing multiple niches, their name, their profile, their email if you have it, phone number. I know this says female IG profile, but change that to owner's account, like which one account of you did that. And then just keep track of the sales pipeline. Of course, you don't have to have this. You can eliminate this, not use it if you use GHL CRM, but just have that there. I usually do that for my appointment setters to know, like, hey, where's the appointments taken that you give me. But yeah, this is where you or your VA is going to live in day by day. When it comes to AI right now, I leverage it to find prospects, and that has saved my VAs like a lot of time. Prospecting is probably the hardest part in this whole process, but with the ChatGPT hashtags, that tool Daniel dropped, which I appreciate, that can go from 3 hours of prospecting down to 1 hour, which means more time for hitting people up, right? But right now, I haven't seen anything, and I'll say this later in the slide. I haven't seen anything perform better than a VA and actually going off script a bit, personalizing it if you need to. It just works phenomenally well and ultimately doesn't get your account banned. But yeah, this is your prospecting pipeline back to here. So same thing, leads name, information about them, status, right? You even want to keep track of if it's blocked or not interested, because the negative replies are just simply votes of people saying, "Hey, I'm not interested in your service," or "I don't like the way you presented your offer." It's like, okay, got it. It's no different than like, Shark Tank saying, "I'm out," right? It's like, so take note of that. Um, and then, of course, keeping track of your follow-ups, how many times you hit them up. These are all dates here. So like June 15th, June 16th, 17th, 18th. And then I do color coding. So like if someone replied back to us, I just highlight that name in blue. If I need to still hit them up, I'll highlight it green or have my VA do it. And then if they're unqualified or not interested, I just do gray. It's just easy, my way, my thing. Now the KPI tracker. Daniel, you guys have a KPI tracker, something like this to keep track of outbound?
We do in our curriculum, yeah. It's like similar to the one that Justin Saunders had for his IG funnel, if you remember that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Cool. I'll still give you guys this one. This is something I've been using. I'll put the name out there. Shout out to Joel Kaplan for giving me this. I use it for both paid ads and all organic outreach from SMS, cold calls, emails too. And then it shows you on the time frame. So I'll link that in there. Obviously, it shows you the time frame. You just got to plug it in or your VA plug it in. Wherever, if you, doesn't matter. As long as you keep track of your KPIs, messages sent, positive replies, booking appointments, taken, shown, closes, all that stuff, you're good. Just keep that track. Now, let's talk about delegating. This is where I will speed rush this a bit. So if I have a whole YouTube video on this, so if you don't mind, I'll link that in there. But in a sense, you do want to delegate this to a VA. Let's be real. We're agency owners. We do not want to be glorified VAs doing 2, 3 hours of DM setting on Instagram and Facebook. So in a sense, where to get applicants, you can go to Facebook groups, make a quick post for free. You can go to Indeed.com to spend $8 to $10. You will get dozens and hundreds of um, dozens of applicants, and they're pretty good too, that they're on Indeed. They're serious. Um, you can use your Instagram, Facebook. I personally use that. I'm Filipino. I have friends and families there, and it works. Um, Last week, just side note, I got my cousin a VA job. It was so cool. Um, Anyways, or you can go to placement services like Online Jobs PH. There's a great one by Omir Fava. He got people in Colombia, even from Philippines. I will selfishly plug myself. I'll say I do have 1.2K trained DM setters, so you could go to me and see how I can plug you in with someone. Interviewing them. If you get more than 5 people, 10 people, do a group interview. But before that, have them go to a survey form, just giving you their full name, experience, their skill sets. Do they have a laptop, etc., full time, part time? Answer all those questions, and obviously weed out those who don't fit the qualification. take those who are on a group interview, just spend 20, 30 seconds asking them questions about the position, why they feel like they're a good fit. And if you feel vibes, if you like what they say about their skill sets, put them into a group or breakout room where they pass, or just tell them that you'll reach out to them later. Filter out to the top three or five, do a one more interview, all that stuff. Um, doesn't have to be more complicated than that, honestly. If you find someone that's an A player versus everyone else, just go with them. But if you do want to do a formal route, just you can do that. Um, Training and managing them, meet with them Monday through Friday, just quick 10, 15 minutes to check in with them, 30 minutes. I do recommend having an SOP on how to do literally what I just shared here and what I recommend you do first for at least 1 to 2 weeks. Um, but treat them as any other team members. What my big message is in here. Share your core values, your missions, why you're helping this industry, why their role is important, and then of course their training, so they know exactly how to do things. Again, meet with them, but also keep open communication. Like I do this on scripts or Slack. If they have a question about a script, for example, and then they got a question from a prospect that's off script, they can DM it to me, and I'll reach back out to them when I have time so that they can, respond back to them. You can also, little side tip with AI, ChatGPT, you can create a prompt. You can prompt a ChatGPT to have your SOPs, or you can use Poppy AI, but ChatGPT works well. You prompt it so well that it's kind of like your brain, that they can just go to that ChatGPT and say, "Hey, I got this objection or this question from a prospect. How do you want me to answer it?" And then, if it's trained well, it'll take care of that. Yes, this will be a recording. Yes, will be yeah, thanks, Daniel. Um, I don't know. I'm so used to saying that for others. Like, sorry. So
All
yeah, I
good.
should have let you say that. Anyways, yeah, keep track of KPIs. Again, have them log it in. Meet with them, Monday through Friday about the KPIs. Have review their quotas, review their performance goals, keep them challenged. If they get you efficiently 5 appointments a week, challenge them to try to get 8 or 10, and then give them bonuses for those. Competitions, if you have two or three VAs, which you do this at scale, which is awesome, you know, top three, the first one gets a crown on Slack for the week. The bottom one gets a tiara. I do little silly things like that, but it really just gets them intrinsically motivated to just do better. And then do quarter reviews. So that's pretty much it right there. You can go above and beyond, give them book recommendations. Like again, these guys, they just want to be treated like every other employee, even though they're remote from third world country or whatever. Treat them like any other team member. They'll cherish you and they'll take their business or their performance seriously. So like I said a moment ago, at the moment, I don't know an AI tool that can do this without sounding like a bot. That's just the truth. So VAs are the way to go. But I'll keep you posted as always. I'll keep Daniel posted and you guys, therefore, about AI. Jared, great question. I actually realized I skipped over that. What is a good pay range for a VA, specifically a DM setter, because it depends on their service and what tasks they're doing. You can start them out at $3 an hour. Full time, whatever. Um, and then what you want to do is hybrid. So do a commission. I do recommend it being booking or shown, but not closing, because obviously, well, you could do closing, it's fine. But I do recommend something that's more close to their responsibility, right? That they control, if I may. So bookings are shown, you can do like depending on how many appointments you expect them to get for every 100, DMs they send, 200. You can do like anywhere between $5 to $10 per booking or shown appointment. Right? There's no obviously like absolute to that. And it also depends on your niche. Like I expect a VA to get less appointments in law versus real estate. That's an example. Okay, so I will say I do have a private automation tool. This is where I'll transparently say this is a private tool I can give you access to. It recently allowed us to use AI. One of our guys is getting like 7 appointments a day. I'm just totally plugging myself right now. If you want access to it, just reach out to me in the DMs. I can show you how this works. If you're in a white collar professional services, definitely want to be on LinkedIn right now. I'm not just saying that because I use LinkedIn. It's one of the most untapped niches that's making a quote unquote comeback because it's actually older than Facebook. Not a lot of people use it. It's a B2B platform. So I'm just gonna put it out there. Reach out to me on my Instagram if you want more insights on that. What metrics do you measure, like how many DMs they should send per hour? That's a great question. So man, this is really meticulous. Which, by the way, that's completes all four pillars right there. So I'm gonna open up to questions here. Um, so yeah, we want to send 100 to 200 plus a day. Right now, if you want to play conservatively, so let's just say 30 DMs per healthy account, right? You ramp it up, like I've said earlier. Start from 15, 20, 25, 30. So you'll need three accounts. What you want to do is probably send roughly between 10 an hour per account. And then at the same time, so you're kind of doing it in waves. You're like looking at each account, and then you'll see those replies coming in from that account as you prospect for another account. That's kind of like the workflow there. Don't, this is a little side tip. Um, don't, or for your VA, don't do like, oh, I found one person, so I'm going to DM them. I found to do it in batches. So find 10 to 15 people first, or all 100, in fact, 100 prospects first, then hit them up. What my VA's done to make their lives easier is they find 100 prospects the day before they're going to start, and then they just hit them up, and then the rest of the day they're prospecting or replying back to messages. It helps them sort their brain out so they're not having to do all the tasks simultaneously. Like I find someone, I message them. I find someone, just find everyone and then message them. Little productivity hack on the DMs. Um, But yeah, that's virtually the system right there. That's why I'm sharing my screen. So make sure you set up the accounts properly because that's the foundation of people setting like actually connecting with you or sending you a message back on Instagram or Facebook. The second is having a solid offer and script. Nothing's going to work if you don't have a solid offer, of course. And the script I gave you verbatim, you can check out the recording later. That's what you want to follow. Okay. Third thing is finding prospects. Leverage GBT. It's going to help you a ton, or just use hashtags or what Daniel shared. That's awesome. Sales Navigator for LinkedIn. And then again, for messaging and actually delegating this, still leverage a VA. You can literally have one VA do 300 DMs every single day. You're fine paying them just what, sub 500 a month, which is good for them still, plus commission. So you can definitely do that. But then on LinkedIn, if you want to leverage what I'm doing, I have like an AI tool that custom personalizes the first message. Just feel free to message me. Is it okay, Dan, if I drop my Instagram here?
Yeah, please do. I was also going to say we're going to take a couple questions here coming up soon because we're kind of cutting into one of my clients' times, but that's fine. Just a couple more minutes, it's totally fine. So if you have any questions or topics right now, just type them in the chat before we end it. And in case you guys need this replay, I will be posting it in school right after for you guys, in case you want to reference it as well.
Let's go. Cool. All right. I'm opening it up. You guys can literally unmute. Appreciate you guys for sticking on here. Was there any questions about either of the pillars? Overall your niche? We can really make it a workshop like, hey, I'm doing this. Adarsh was a great example. Like I'm doing this, I have this, I don't have this. You guys can feel free to drop the whole thing.
I just have like an extended question. And I'll let Adarsh get to his question right after. But 100 to 200 a day. Let's say it's 100. How many should reply? How many should book?
Good question. I will personally say it depends on niche, right? Because it's activity rate. So like lawyers, they're less active. They will be active on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, all three. But same as real estate, but they're hyperactive. Like the real because real estate, their lifeblood is them actually reaching out to leads too. So they do a lot more outreach on social medias now. Um, so it really depends. That's where you kind of want to know your KPI. Out at the end of the day, if you're sending, say 3,000 to 6,000 DMs, you should be landing like two, three clients right there. And that's a great start for an agency below 10K. Obviously, if you're 30K and 40K running paid ads and you want to scale this up, get two VAs, get multiple accounts, set them up, get it going.
Got it. Thank you. Adarsh, you can go ahead if you had a question.
Yeah, I saw you unmuted too.
Yeah. Have you tried like there are DM bots, insider DM bots, things like that? Does that work?
I, I'll be honest, guys. I spent 5K like on bots and like R&D a lot on last year. I haven't tried it out a lot, but like I did R&D on those, and at least at that time or right now, they're not like at the end of the day, it's all about KPIs and like how many appointments you get, but ultimately how good the conversations are. And they just weren't good for my agency owners I'm helping with or the agent my own agency. Like they just felt bottish and they didn't have like the best. They had skepticism going on to the calls anyways. Um, So like where you have a VA actually like responding back, taking time to message it, um, that's better. Or the first message, same thing. So I highly suggest getting a virtual assistant instead of a bot. But again, I'll keep you posted if there's a bot or an AI, as I like to say, that literally can take over a VA.
for sure. And you mentioned your Instagram. I'll reach out again. Like I reached out to you. I don't know 6 7 months ago, but yeah, I'm sure you are getting a lot of requests. And
Hey,
one thing more, like, do you have also planned to create community like these, like this?
nah, that's a great question. I appreciate it. Personally, I love being a part of communities as a community member. I don't plan on making programs. Um, So that's a good question. I appreciate that, Adarsh. And I know like you've been following me for a while, so I appreciate that a lot. But nah, man, you got everything you need in Daniel Beltran's call, and then whatever else you need, take care of it. But I like being a member and like no different than you guys and sharing what's working for me and other agency owners.
For sure, man. Thanks.
Cool.
All right,
All right,
cool. We'll
maybe
take a couple more questions before we end it. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say the exact same thing.
Okay, okay.
I usually like to play MCs at two times too. But
No
anyways,
worries.
was there any questions about setting things up? Shaquille, did you unmute? Do you have a question?
Hey Marcus, hey Dan. So, what would be the average pay rate for someone who is in the company for more than 1 year, a VA, and now is actually in a supervisory role where she's training other VAs and taking like sales meeting. What would be the average pay rate for them?
Oh, that is awesome. That's what I love to hear. Kudos, bro. If that's not a theory question, it's more like it's actually happening. My business question, good. Um, but yeah, I would. That's So here's two things. It's all about incentive. Yes, you can easily give them a raise. Like if they are paid $3 an hour and they're managing other VAs, now you can pay them $4 or $5 an hour. That's really cool. Obviously, check your profit and OPEX, your operation expenses. Just putting out there. Um, but you want to incentivize them more. Now, you're not going to incentivize them on necessarily getting booked appointments, but we can incentivize them is the team members or the VAs that they're managing, them hitting their quotas. And if they do, for every quota they hit, that says that the manager's doing their job. You can give a bonus off of every VA that they're managing's quota. So just think about that. Always think about incentives. Like with their role, being a manager, how can I incentivize them to be a better leader, better manager, performance coach, if I may, and making sure the VAs that are doing the DM setting, that are in the trenches, hit their quotas, hit their goals. Does that help?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that helps. Thank you.
Yeah. So instead of saying $5 for every booked appointment, maybe it's like $50 for hitting the overall appointment goal from the team. Who knows? So that's an example there.
Sounds good.
Yeah. One more question, and then we can definitely end the replay, and you guys can look back at this. Cool. If no one has questions, I think we covered everything for sure.
All right, cool. And Marquez, thank you again. I really appreciate you doing this training for us. And again, if you guys do have any questions, obviously, reach out to him. If you guys want that automation that he was talking about at the end, I'm gonna post this in school for you guys. You can reach out if you have any questions. But that's it. Thank you guys very much. I
Yes.
appreciate you joining.
Have a good start to August. Peace, guys.
Thanks. I'll see you then.
Thank you.
All right.